Hello. Again, I welcome you to these lessons that we are delivering to help you, be acquainted and learn or practice more in relation to what you are studying. You are going to be English teachers, and so the lesson will be giving you strategies to speak about in this way, in this time, to speak about past activities. Are you with me? Are you following me? I hope so. So, what do we need to talk about past activities? That is the question I want you to reflect on, right? So, just think for a second. What do you need to speak about past activities? Definitely, you need to use the simple past. Of course, you know that from first and second year because you have studied this before. So we use the simple past to speak about past actions, to speak about actions or activities that finished at a stated time, at exact moment in the past. Okay? Let's see then what else we can say about speaking or talking or referring to past activities. Definitely you need verbs because the verbs and the time expressions indicate the tense. So, what do you need? Definitely, I know you have studied that before. You need regular and irregular verbs. But in the lesson today, we will be looking at regular verbs. We are going to summarize in a certain way how you use regular verbs to speak about past actions, to speak about past activities. And here you have the first list of irregular verbs. For example, arrive, wait, accept, enjoy, return, and dance. So what do? We add, right? We add ed. We add ed to these verbs because they are regular verbs to form the irregular form or to form the past form of these verbs. But they are pronounced in different ways, okay? They are pronounced in different ways. Of course, I will help you to understand or better to recall because you have already studied this before. So we are going to recall the pronunciation of these endings when speaking about past actions using regular verbs. When it ends in ed, as in this case, you pronounced d, that is one of the pronunciations. When the verb ends in b, g, v, the, m, n, or l. Let's see, I will pronounce it for you. So when the verbs end in b, g, v, the, m, n, l. Why? Because these are voiced sounds. And you know that D is also a voiced sound. So you need to pronounce it like that, with a D, with the voiced sounds, because the preceding consonants are also voiced. Here we have, in this presentation, we have the sounds and the letters, the alphabetical letters. Fíjense que tenemos dos columnas. En una tenemos la pronunciación, por eso está entre barras, porque es la pronunciación, no la letra como aparece en el alfabeto. But we have an exception, and that is after D, you don't pronounce it like that. You will see afterwards how you pronounce it when it is after D. And here we have some examples. Planned, played, returned. Do you need to copy? Okay, please. Take some seconds to copy the examples, and then I will give you some seconds to copy the explanation. Okay? So, are you now ready to go on? Let's see then what happens when we end in ed, but when it is pronounced with T. Here we have the explanation. When the verb ends in p, k, f, or f, what happens? Let's explain this. And if you can help me with showing the sound, y bueno, vamos a ver si me pueden ayudar a mostrar con mayor claridad cómo se pronuncia ese sonido para que ustedes puedan verlo. ¿Ok? Miren cómo pongo la lengua en ese sonido. Ese sonido es un sonido, pudiéramos decir, similar a ese sonido de Z que no pronunciamos en Cuba, pero que sí se hace en algunas regiones de España, por ejemplo. Pero ustedes podrán preguntarse, pero hay palabras que se pronuncian con ese sonido y hay otras que se pronuncian con el sonido anterior que nos presentaron para la the. Y tienen razón, porque el equivalente, es decir, en la grafía es TH, TH, pero tenemos dos pronunciaciones diferentes. Thin, thanks, que es este sonido que está ilustrado aquí. Sin embargo, en the, they, que vibra más al pronunciarlo, entonces es el otro sonido que ilustramos en el ejemplo anterior. En clases subsiguientes quizás volvamos sobre este ejemplo, pero yo sé que sus profesores han trabajado con ustedes esta diferencia. Okay, so let's summarize this part. The ending ed is pronounced t, t, when the verb ends in p, k, f, or f, except after t, right? So, and as I said before, afterwards I will give you the examples with T or D. The examples here are kissed and danced, as you can notice here. Kissed and danced. Let's continue. Now what happens when the ed is pronounced id? Well, the ed is pronounced id after D or T. If you remember, in our previous explanations, we gave D and T as exceptions, okay? So after D or T, we pronounce id, as in the examples that we have here. Protected, intended, accepted. Is that okay with you? Okay. So now we are going to summarize what we have done so far. So we have explained that in English, when speaking about past actions, about past activities, we use simple past. And of course, as in all languages, we have regular and irregular verbs. The lesson today is devoted to regular verbs. The verbs that we add ed, as we say. We add ed to regular verbs. And these verbs are pronounced in different ways. T, D, or ed. When the ed is after voiced sounds except D, we pronounce D. If the ed is pronounced after the verbs which end in voiceless sounds, we pronounce them as T except in T. And when the verbs end in T or D, then we pronounce it. Now, I will give you a task. You are going to write 2 verbs pronounced with D, pronounced with T, pronounced with it. So, think about verbs pronounced with id, with T, or with D. So it's your time to practice. As I said, you're going to write down or just think about 2 verbs pronounced with D, 2 verbs pronounced with T, and 2 verbs pronounced with id. I will give you just 1 or 2 seconds. Are you ready to go on? I hope so, and I think so. So, now you're going to tick the most appropriate pronunciation, right? So please copy. We have 4 verbs, and you are going to select the most appropriate pronunciation, id, D, or T. Take some seconds to copy and complete the exercise. Are you ready to check your answers? Well, here is the answer. Copied, commented, assumed, missed. So, if you were able to do the activity correctly, you have understood this part, okay? So, now we're going to do another activity. This time, you're going to complete the rap by providing a verb according to the situation described. So you're going to watch and listen to a rap. I know you will like it. And as you watch and listen to the rap, you're going to complete using the most appropriate verb pronounced, expressed by the singers, by the rappers. Okay, so let's copy the rap with the spaces in blank. Part number 1. What did I do today? So you have to finish the rap. This is the order, the instruction for the activity. What did you do today? I, my floors, your, and you have a question mark. Yes, I, my floors all day. Take a second to finish copying. Ready to go on? Second part. What did you do today? I, my house, your? Yes, I, my house, all day. A second to copy. I think now you are ready to copy. And notice that in each part, in each segment, you have to change only some words. What did you do today? And you have the same question. I, my porch. Your, yes, I, my porch all day. Just a second to copy. Next part. What did you do today? I, my sink. Your, yes, I, my sink all day. Time to copy. Ready to go on? And this is the last part. I, my floors. I, my house. I, my porch. My sink. We worked at home all day. Okay? Could you copy? So now it's time to enjoy the rap for the first time.
What did you do today?
I washed my floors.
Your floors?
Yes, I washed my floors all day. What did you do today?
I cleaned my house.
Your house?
Yes, I cleaned my house all day. What did you do today?
I painted my porch.
Your porch?
Yes, I painted my porch all day. What did you do today?
I fixed my sink.
Your sink?
Yes, I fixed my sink all day.
I washed my floors.
I cleaned my house.
I painted my porch.
I fixed my sink.
We worked at home all day.
Funny, isn't it? So, I know that you might need time or to complete the task, so I will give you the opportunity to enjoy the rap for a second time.
What did you do today?
I washed my floors.
Your floors?
Yes, I washed my floors all day. What did you do today?
I cleaned my house.
Your house?
Yes, I cleaned my house all day. What did you do today?
I painted my porch.
Your porch?
Yes, I painted my porch all day. What did you do today?
I fixed my sink.
Your sink?
Yes, I fixed my sink all day.
I washed my floors.
I cleaned my house.
I painted my porch.
I fixed my sink.
We worked at home all day.
Are you ready now to check if you were able to take down the verbs correctly? Well, now let's check segment by segment. Segment 1. What did you do today? I washed my floors. Your floors? Yes, I cleaned my floors all day. Take some seconds. Second part. What did you do today? I cleaned my house. Your house? Yes, I cleaned my house all day. Time to verify and complete your activities if you were not able to write them down. Next segment. What did you do today? I painted my porch. Your porch? Yes, I painted my porch all day. Time to verify comprehension. Now I know that you are ready to go on. What did you do today? I fixed my sink. Your sink? Yes, I fixed my sink all day. Take some seconds. Ready to see the last part? I hope so. I washed my floors, I cleaned my house, I painted my porch, I fixed my sink. We worked at home all day. So, now I will help you to practice, with this last part, I will help you to practice the pronunciation of the words that were presented here so that you can afterwards practice the rap, and maybe you can give this rap to your students in your own lessons, okay? So, first part. I washed my floors. I cleaned my house. I washed my floors. I cleaned my house. Notice, washed ending in T, cleaned in D. I washed my floors. I cleaned my house. I painted my porch. Porch. We have the sound, the same sound that we have in Spanish in chocolate. Porch. Porch. I painted, notice id, I painted my porch. I fixed my sink. Sink, fregadero. I fixed my sink. I fixed my sink. We worked. Notice that we pronounce worked. We shouldn't pronounce it. I worked at home all day. You should notice that I don't repeat the incorrect pronunciation, because as teachers, we should not repeat or we should not give students the wrong pronunciations, right? Es un procedimiento metodológico, digamos, cuando corregimos los errores, que no debemos insistir y presentarle a los estudiantes la forma incorrecta de una estructura gramatical, del significado de una palabra, o de pronunciación, como es el caso, porque puede contribuir a que los estudiantes fijen el error. All right? So that's why you should never repeat the students' wrong answers, but just give them the correct examples. Okay? So now let's see then, are the wrappers referring to present activities, future activities, or past activities? Well, I know that you know the answer, but it was just summarizing. Of course, they're referring about past activities. No. Now, another activity. You're going to select the verb that best suits what you did during the weekend or yesterday, right? So, what did you do yesterday? You have three possibilities, and you have to select the one that best suits what you did yesterday or the day before yesterday. Van a seleccionar, bueno, el verbo que mejor exprese lo que ustedes hicieron antes del momento en que están viendo esta clase. So, what did you do yesterday? What did you do the day before yesterday? It depends on the situation you are going to refer to. Of course, this is not something that you are going to do now, right? Because this is an activity that's very individual, so I cannot give you an answer. In my case, well, I worked very hard at home. I cleaned the house. I didn't paint the house, but I cleaned the house. I washed. I cooked. I studied, because teachers study every day. Teachers need to study every day. So last night I studied a lot to prepare this lesson for you, because I also prepared lessons for you and for the other students I have. I didn't play, I didn't dance, but I did watch TV, right? Is that okay? Well, what have we done today? Summarizing. We have given you possibilities to practice the use of the regular verbs to speak about past activities, so that you can refer to what you usually or what you did in the past. Okay? So now we have the after TV lesson activity. Your task is to write about what you did during the COVID first lockdown. Lockdown es el confinamiento, ¿verdad? So, if you want to know more about the words for speaking about COVID, you can Google the words. Google, que viene de la palabra Google, es un verbo que hoy se utiliza en inglés para denominar esa acción que hacemos cuando buscamos en Internet. And you can say to Google, that's a verb. And you can share all that with your classmates. Well, this is all for today, and we have to say goodbye. See you in another English lesson.